This is a reaction video. It's protected by fair use. Once again, this is a reaction video and it's protected by fair use.
Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terrence Crawford next.
You're going to make that happen?
Huh?
You're going to make that happen?
Oh, definitely. That's the fight that I want. That's the fight everybody else want. Like I said, I'm going to get these straps that I'm going to go over there and take his shit too.
All right. Errol, congratulations. Terrific fight this evening.
Thank you, man. Down. Strap season. I know what time it is, baby. Terrence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
All right.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the ball. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he code switch focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe, I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a peace, man. I ain't got no time for a piece, man. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, they you might want to get out of Dodge by the evening. Honestly, think it's not the blood and the beef. If they don't leave anything behind at the evening.
I can see you soft, ever thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a prince. When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they want to call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode, I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe, I'm the kingpin.
They had a happy 4th of July, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all went out there and got yourself some ribs, got yourself some chicken, turkey, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Got yourself some dressing and got yourself some loving. I hope you did all that. Got something good to drink, you know what I'm saying? So you can feel a little woozy. You know, every now and then, you know what I'm saying? You stress out, working hard out here trying to get this money, chasing this money, you know what I'm saying? You got to have a little relaxation with the family, you know? So I hope everybody had a really great, happy 4th of July, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I'm out here doing my loads, and man, I come across, you know, keeping up with the boxing, you know, interviews, and I come across Fight Hub, and they had a real intense little brouhaha, you know, talking about, you know, breaking down the Errol Spence Jr. Terrence Crawford fight, and it was Shawn Porter and Kell Brooke, you know what I'm saying, like, and Breadman, and it was Virgil Hunter, you know what I'm saying. They had an interview on Fight Hub, and this shit was like really good, man. It was, you know, it was just surprising. You know, these guys, you know what I'm saying, you know, they all got world class experience, you know what I'm saying. Of course, we know Shawn Porter, You know what I'm saying? You know, he had the WBC belt and he fought everybody, you know what I'm saying, at 147. And then you got Kell Brooke, of course, he was the IBF champion and he went up and fought Triple G. So we know all the characters. Of course, we know the Bread Man, you know, he trained Caleb Plant and he trained your boy Julian Williams, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, had some success there with Julian Williams beating Hurd and Caleb Plant, of course, you know, he didn't do so well. But of course, we know Virgil Hunter, you know, he trained Andre Ward, and of course, you know what I'm saying, Mira Khan, and that's something interesting that came up in the interview. But my thing that I took from all this, you know what I'm saying, was the way, you know, the personal feelings, you know what I'm saying, these fighters, you know, still the saltiness is still there. What's going on, Master Khalid? What's going on, Charles Young? What's happening? Y'all, Charles, you're going to the boxing gym. That's what's up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Got to stay shape. You know what I'm saying? Keep them niggas off you. And Master Khalid, what's going on? So what I took from the interview, you know, these guys, you know, Shawn is he think of himself as a little highly trained media person, but you know, he took a shot. He took a shot at EJ. I felt the tone. What's going on, Philly Bull 91? I see you up there. You was way up top there. But yeah, he really tried EJ, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shit he was saying, it was just like, bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into it because we're gonna go through the interview and kind of chop it up, you know, about some of the things they were saying on the breakdown of the fight. Some of it I agree with, a lot of it I didn't. You know, I'm just surprised that Kell Brooke wouldn't give more insight. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, very mealy-mouthed about everything, agreeing with everybody, and not really giving a whole bunch of insight about his fight because, you know, I guess, you know, when you both lost to Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying? You know, what are you gonna say? Yeah, he whipped my ass, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you don't want to get caught looking salty, you know, on here. But, you know, some of the things, I think Breadman had the most insight out of all the fighters. I mean, out of all the trainers or all the ones that was on the panel. I think Breadman kind of like broke it down the best, you know. But you could see he was, you know what I'm saying, he was kind of slanting his, you know what I'm saying, his analysis, you know what I'm saying, towards Brooke Crawford. So even though he said he didn't have a pick, but, you know what I'm saying, so I wanted to rush to this interview because it was like burning me up when I was on the road. I was like, man, we got to get back and we got to cook this here on up. We got to put this in the pot, you know what I'm saying, put a little seasoning on it. And look at what these guys, you know what I'm saying, were talking about. And, of course, Shawn Porter, he just seemed like he was just all teeth and all elated to be up in the mix with these guys, you know what I'm saying. You can see every chance he took the initiative to answer the damn question. It's like, shut the hell up, Shawn. You know what I'm saying? You got your own podcast, and everybody knows what the hell you're going to say because you done already said it a million times, right, on your podcast. So we know what you think, you know, but he's, well, I'll go first. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's get into it, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into the interview. You know, I hate that red guy. He's just so, man, it's like you know, he's like a DJ or some shit, you know. But let's get into it and see how this thing all breaks down, right? So we're gonna start with I guess they start with Shawn Porter. Of course, he's always damn first to run his mouth.
That there's two narratives out there, I think, or really there's one narrative. That narrative is that Terrence Crawford can do more things in the ring. He's got more tools in his toolbox, and even though Errol Spence is a basic boxer, he's the most fundamentally sound boxer in the world. I do agree with that, but Errol's got more in his arsenal as well, and I think that we've never been able to see him pull out everything that he's had to use. Terrence has been in the ring with guys who have done different things, and he's had to present other things go into his toolbox. But I do think that from an X's and O's standpoint, it's all a matter of what are you going to do this round, because they both have the ability to make adjustments, and they both have the ability to be aggressive. They both have the ability to fight off of the back foot, counterpunch. I mean, even from again, the X's and O's standpoint, this is an outstanding fight because they both have A+ in every box, and it's just yeah. I
Now, no, that's one thing I like about Porter. He does have Porter's masculinity. What's going on? Life is good. He's how you strong, brother? Yeah, I'm strong. I'm strong today, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad to be off. What's going on? 2 Cent Boxing. Greeks with fire in the building, bro. What's up? So he just like talking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter just loves to talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? He don't give a damn if he contradict himself. He kind of tries to, you know what I'm saying? He said Brooke ain't had a line. Yeah, Brooke's just watching Shawn go. Look at the look on Brooke's face. He's just trying to feed off of Shawn Porter energy here. And you know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter, he got his eyes closed. That motherfucker is on automatic mode. You know what I'm saying? He's on automatic mode because he can run his mouth like this here for hours and hours and hours, right? He got his eyes closed and shit. So he already know what the hell he gonna say. But I do agree with Shawn Porter when he say, you know what I'm saying, Errol Spence Jr., he got more tools in his bag, bro. He got more skills, you know what I'm saying, that he's holding back on because he likes to fight. He likes to fight in a basic fundamental way, right? And what I think a lot of people don't get is that Errol Spence Jr. can do a lot more, bro. He can do all that, you know what I'm saying, pivoting and switching, and he can do all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But what's the point of wasting energy, you know what I'm saying, when, you know what I'm saying, you have a successful style, you know what I'm saying, moving forward, pressuring, and coming behind the jab, right? This minimize mistakes. And Errol Spence Jr. being a perfectionist, that's what people don't understand. He's a perfectionist, right? So he's always trying to throw the jab the correct way. He's always trying to throw his hooks the correct way. He's trying to make sure he concentrates on his distance, you know what I'm saying, making sure everything is perfect, right? So he can minimize any mistakes in the ring. And, you know, say Shawn Porter, if anybody, he recognizes that because he had to size Errol Spence Jr. up. He had to size him up. Right when he was ringside at the Kell Brooke fight, he was sizing Errol Spence Jr. up at what he was going to do because Shawn Porter failed when it came to fighting Kell Brooke. You know what I'm saying? Because Brooke used that hold and hitting style, right? And Shawn Porter, he couldn't break it. You know what I'm saying? Where he watched Errol Spence Jr. go in there and how he dealt with Kell Brooke's style, that hold, hitting, hanging on your neck, wearing you down type style. See, in England, they or the English refs, they allow Brooke to hold you and hang on your neck. And y'all saw, go back and watch the fight. If you saw where Kell Brooke was jumping on the Errol Spence Jr. neck. Errol Spence Jr. said his neck was so damn sore after that fight. But him being a challenger, you know what I'm saying, for the belt, for the IBF title, and Kell Brooke being the champion, you know what I'm saying, they were going to let that shit go. You know, and Kell Brooke got a lot of breaks in that fight. It probably would have been an impossible TKO, but they gave Brooke, you know, quite a few breaks when it looked like he was about to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? Because they wanted Kell Brooke to beat Errol Spence Jr. They wanted him to hold back the American tide that was, you know, rushing in the 147 division, right? So yeah, if you go back and watch, you'll see what Kell Brooke taped off his glove. You know what I'm saying? They kept you know, breaking the fight. It looked like, you know, anytime EJ, you know, was getting the better of, you know, Kell Brooke, they would break for that damn tape, and he would be able to catch his win and come back strong. You know what I'm saying? That's all he needed was a couple of little breaks in there so he could get his shit back, get his legs back, get his head back. And, you know, it was just obvious, you know what I'm saying? This is something that people don't talk about a lot because we hardcore boxing fans. So we're going to talk about the, you know, the small things that we see in the ring. And Kell Brooke got a few breaks in that fight to recuperate, you know what I'm saying, or his ass would have been gone earlier. And I mean, I just never see anybody, you know, I'll be going back to the comments talking about that shit. If you go up under the fights, the Errol Spence Jr. Kell Brooke fight, you'll see a lot of my comments where Kell Brooke, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of breaks and shit. And, you know, Shawn Porter, you know, he understands that Errol Spence Jr. is a very special fighter, because he knows he got athletic ability. I mean, if you look at the first few rounds of that fight, Errol Spence Jr. can dodge the punches if he wants to. You can see that clearly in the fight that Errol Spence Jr. wanted to fight him. He wanted to break Shawn Porter. The problem was Errol Spence Jr. didn't prepare himself through strength and conditioning, right? So he had a fat camp. He did everything he could just to make the weight. So he didn't really have a lot of time to focus on, overpowering and, pressuring Shawn, even though that's what he did in the fight going head to head. You didn't have 100% Errol Spence Jr., because of his outside activity, blowing up before rounds. So that shit was, Shawn, he knows what the deal is. I like to get the things out that they're not saying. And, the things that they just kind of gloss over and shit. Yeah, he should have got with Blu-ray, but for the life of me, I don't understand why Errol Spence Jr. don't really depend on that guy. I don't know why he don't really lean into Blu-ray, his program, but Blu-ray said he kind of made it up as he went along with EJ because he had never trained a boxer, and so he probably went a little overboard because Blu-ray is a intensive trainer, right? So you had EJ doing all kind of shit, and I think EJ said that it was a lot on his body with the training that he got to do, sparring and everything else he got going on. So it's just kind of hard to deal with Blu-ray's intensive training. That nigga trained. He trained like that master on Dragon Ball and shit. That motherfucker. Just train 247, nigga jumping over mountains and shit. And, so the shit is like real intense. So, with Blu-ray. So you got to really, have the energy to do that shit. And I think Blu-ray probably just kind of, burnt them out or something like that. And, but, getting back to Shawn Porter here, he understands, that your boy, he understands EJ is a special fighter, and he just uses the fundamentals to minimize his mistakes, and to be more efficient and to be, more effective in the ring. And so it's not flashy like, Bud Crawford style. It's not, he don't have the rear back hook. He don't have the, the speed, flash, quick punches and stuff like Crawford. So it's more, like Breadman said, aesthetically pleasing, right? Than Errol Spence Jr., who just comes behind the jab, and then it's a predictable style, and so people want to see you do, special shit, special moves, like motherfuckers playing video games. They want to see you do, all kind of weird shit, like the dragon punches and all kind of shit. But that's not boxing. Boxing is all about technique, and if you have success, in your style, then what the hell? It's like, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix the shit. So, so let me see. What's going on, Mac88? He says, Mr. Moet, what's going on? Slime, what's going on? So let's get back into it because it's a long-ass interview.
I honestly think that we're going to see probably 3 different strategies from both of them throughout the course of a 12-round fight, maybe even 4 or 5. And that's
now right here, Shawn Porter is just bullshit. Tell me something. He think they're gonna see 3 or 4 or 5 shit. He just talking. Let's just keep it real. He just talking. He just want to sound smart. Like the nigga that's always, trying to dominate the conversation. He just trying to sound smart. Now we boxing fans, we know ain't nobody going in there with no goddamn 3 or 4, 5 game plans. Right now he's just trying to stand out amongst all these, these great men here, these great boxing minds, and he's just trying to show off here. But we're gonna continue.
And that's
so plan A through D.
Hey, you can ask Bradman and you can ask Virgil. I mean, having 4 or 5 different game plans within one fight is probably impossible. But I mean, both of these guys have to have all of that in order to win the fight.
I mean, did y'all understand that? You know what he just said? I guess he's just trying to say that they're gonna have to have more to fall back on, or they may have to switch up their tactics. I understand that, but maybe he just the way he said it, said the shit just sound dumb, But we're gonna continue. Look at Breadman smiling, and then he tried to put it back on the trainer so they could back him up and shit. And they just like, okay. Mm-hmm.
Virgil, for you had to prepare Amir Khan for Terrence Crawford back in April of 2019. What was your strategy like? And if you were Errol Spence, how would you prepare him? If you were Derek James, how would you prepare Errol Spence to find Terrence Crawford on July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view?
Well, to be honest, the Canelo fight ruined Amir Khan. It took a...
So this is Virgil Hunter, right? Saying he got a chance to train Amir Khan, right? Because he fought Canelo, and Canelo went out there and Faluma his ass, right? Even though he was boxing Canelo very well, he looked good up until he didn't, until he got knocked hell out. But here's Virgil Hunter telling you that that fight ruined Amir Khan, even though I thought he was ruined before that because he got knocked out by Danny Garcia. Excuse me. That knocked out by Danny Garcia too.
Took a lot out of him. He took 2 years off. He always had issues about being dedicated to the sport. So when he came to me for that fight, it was just a matter of getting him in the best condition I could get him in, because he wasn't in great condition, and try to get him to do what he did best, and that was box. It was just unfortunate that the Canelo fight took a lot out of him. And after that fight, he never was the same. And that's not putting him down or anything. It was a fight that I was totally against, but it happened. So I knew he had a tough road ahead when he fought Terrence Crawford. The decision was made, and we got him in the best shape that we could, get him in the best spot we could get him in. And my decision was to make the calls as the rounds went by to see if I can get him through the fight. And that was the plan. As far as being in Derek's head, I don't know. I'm not in the gym with him.
But now, think about what Virgil Hunter was saying, man. He is saying, like, he knew that Amir Khan wasn't going to win that fight with Crawford because of the Canelo fight, right? Let's think about that. Amir Khan went out there to get a payday. He went out there to get a payday, but, you can't tell Bud fans this. See, they're not boxing purists, right? They really think that Amir Khan is a name that should be respected on Bud Crawford's resume. He got people like this on his resume, people that just went in to get a payday. When, we should replace Amir Khan with Danny Garcia. We should have replaced, Amir Khan with somebody like Udanis Ugas. Those are the guys he should have been fighting. He shouldn't have been fighting an Amir Khan. See, this is something they never argue, but they always talk about Errol Spence Jr. resume, and it don't make no sense because Danny Garcia's and the Keith Thurmans and all these guys, these were the top guys of the welterweight division. And he dug up this guy who wasn't committed to the sport, an Amir Khan. He dug up this guy who was, had concussion before the damn fight, to go out there to look good against. So this is what we mean by great matchmaking, right? I mean, even Virgil Hunter knew that Amir Khan wasn't ready for that fucking fight. So why are we gonna fake the funk and act like Amir Khan was a notch on a great notch on Bud Crawford belt? Because he ain't, man. The man is breaking it down to you right now, and you got these fake ass boxing fans come out here and argue and tell you hating on Bud when you got his fucking trainer right here telling you the man wasn't the same Amir Khan, right? So we're gonna break this shit down, man. Because a lot of stuff is coming out after the fact, and he lived on this glory for so long, but now it's time to start breaking these things down, piece by piece. And it's not coming from me, it's coming from the trainer themselves. Okay.
I know from what I see that Errol has a grind it out, go get you mentality. I don't think they're going to deviate from what works. It doesn't make sense to go against what works. I think in this fight, it's not the fight of this, what I'm going to do to you.
What's up, Paul?
And that's how I'd sum it up.
Kell, for you, what did you notice in the ring from both guys and hearing both Shawn and Virgil talk?
Well, let me just pause. Introduce. What's going on, Elliot? What's happening, my brother? What's happening, Kareem? What's happening? You saw this? Did you first off? Did you see this interview?
Yeah, I seen this interview.
Mm-hmm. What was your overall thoughts? You know what I'm saying, when you saw it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just, you don't have to get no in-depth shit. Just, well, from what you saw of what Shawn Porter was saying, what Kell Brooke was saying, Virgil Hunter and Breadman. I thought Breadman was the most insightful out of all of them because he really gave you an in-depth, into his mind and how he was looking at the fight. And I could tell he was trying to be unbiased, but, you know what I'm saying, he still slanted, the skill set that he likes because he's a skills guy. He's a boxer type guy who likes the outside boxer, And he was like really breaking it down, but he gave EJ his credit, but he still was trying to minimize, what Errol Spence Jr. He really is in the ring. So, I just want to get what you thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly my point. These guys seem like they're in some sort of meeting before they have these interviews with the media, and the media is directing them on how to play Errol Spence down without straight out jumping out there and saying what they think about what Errol may do to this dude. I'm looking for that honest opinion on him, and these are guys that's been in the ring giving you descriptions of their honest opinion on him without saying that they think that he's going to beat this dude's ass. Like, stop playing games and tell us the truth. All this media type of shit that they keep doing. Like, here you have Virgil Hunter explaining Crawford's opponent. And he's telling you, the Mayor Khan wasn't ready to get in there with this dude.
That was my phone. Go ahead. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, you done?
No, I ain't done.
Hold on. Oh, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got Kell Brooke, explaining to you his side and what he saw. Shawn Porter continuing with the same damn thing. Man, stop giving me these explanations and just say what y'all know to be true. All these guys are in boxing professional. We're guys on the sidelines looking in, and these guys are in there professional. They know the rumors behind those. They're not fucking dumb.
Right.
That's the reason why Shawn Porter went in there and had 4 or 5 trainers in there training him to fight that dude. I mean, these guys know more than what we know, and they're sitting there just biting around the edges and shit when they explain it to us. It's like I said, it feels like they're having these meetings with the media, and the media is telling them, we got to play Crawford up. We got to play him up. We got to play him up. Errol's gonna go in there and beat this dude ass, and I just can't wait to witness it. I can't wait to witness it, man. I don't think, with my biased opinion on of what I see, that it's a 50-50 fight. How can I say I'm biased towards Errol because of what I see, and all these people out here saying it's 50-50, and then say it's a 50-50 fight? No, it can't be a 50-50 fight. If anything, it's a 60-40 fight in favor of Crawford, because he probably begged Errol for more money behind closed doors. So exactly.
So and saying they don't hold Bud to the same standards that they hold Errol Spence Jr. because Bud had said that if it was him, he would just take the money because he has the confidence that he's going to win the fight, and then he'll turn around and then try to get more money and hold the belt hostage and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care about that shit. They don't care about him lying, and they think, we whining. But it's like, no, bro, your boy don't have no integrity. He don't have no integrity, bro. So that's a big thing, you know what I'm saying, when you're a champion, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to have character, you know what I'm saying, because it you know what I'm saying, it shows in your fighting style, you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know, if you're a lying ass nigga, you know what I'm saying, it's like you're never gonna keep it real in the ring, you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes time down to the grit, you're gonna end up giving up, bro, you know what I'm saying, because you know it's just not in you, you know what I'm saying, because you're not real, is what I'm saying. So, you know, that's what I think about, you know what I'm saying, Crawford. And I think about the people that back Crawford, you know what I'm saying, they tend to just overlook, you know, being honest and being, you know what I'm saying, having a sense of realistic, realism in the ring. And I think EJ stays down to earth when it comes to his style, when it comes to outside the ring. He just stays like real even tempoed, right? And they don't give him enough credit for that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because he knows Crawford is highly skilled and shit, but he just knows that, you know, Crawford, he could beat Crawford ass, and he's gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, do his best to his ability to do that, you know what I'm saying. Whereas everybody else, like, you know, Crawford got, you know, he got the skills to, you know, you'll see it, because it gets kind of absurd up in here when he's talking about the different levels that Bud Crawford can take his skills to. So, you know what I'm saying. But y'all not gonna believe this shit, man. I just got a fucking load in. It's like, hold on, let me see. I just got a goddamn load.
Is it a foregone conclusion to you that we are going to get some toe-to-toe action at some point during the fight?
We're gonna get some toe-to-toe action. What I got from Errol Spence, he's a very big welterweight. He's obviously a natural southpaw. You know, he's big, he's strong, he goes to the body good. You know, his IQ is very good in that ring. You know, the thing for me is in activity. He's had at the recent times. You know, I think that, you know, but like I say, you know, he's one of obviously Shawn.
You know, it's interesting that Kell Brooke brings up inactivity, because he was one of the most inactive motherfuckers, you know, say, especially from the 147 division. For him to come down after 3 years after being out of the 147 division, and, you know what I'm saying, having a 5-week training camp to fight Bud Crawford, you know what I'm saying, without his coach, Don Ingles, right? You know, it's incredible that he looks at it this way. You know, he's counting EJ's inactivity, but we've seen what EJ performance looks like after these times of inactivity. He looked great, right? He dominated. So I don't understand why they keep bringing this up as a talking point. What do you think? What do you think, Kareem?
That's my thing. These guys bring up dumbass shit when they're just like us, where they can turn on YouTube and they can see that this guy's been training, sparring, and doing all the shit that he needs to do behind the scenes to keep himself in good shape. So how Kell Brooke can say he's inactive and he's on goddamn weight right now? I mean, like, you don't know that. You're behind the scenes. You should know that. You can't say something like that, because you know from seeing what's going on. When you see this man and they showing videos of him training, he look like he ready to go in a goddamn ring. These guys are retarded as all hell. They pushing agendas and narratives and shit that make perfect sense.
Well, another one of the narratives was that, you know, EJ was going to Walt Disney World and he wasn't in shape last year, you know what I'm saying? So they couldn't make the fight, you know what I'm saying? Which is, you know what I'm saying, neither here nor there right now. But they were saying how he went to Walt Disney World, he wasn't in shape, he wasn't trained. I'm like, they just make up shit, bro. They just straight up just make up shit just to try to, you know, protect the way Bud Crawford moved to fight David Avenasian, right? So we got the fight now. So, but I just wanted to kind of shine on how they just say these little things, you know what I'm saying, to kind of, you know, throw a little shade, and it's going to get worse. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get worse. You know what I'm saying? Because
here go a real good point. This dude went in there and whipped on your ass, made you surrender. Wouldn't you think you would be bigging him up, saying, you know, if he beat on me like that, just that makes me look better because he beat on me like that. Now, no, they're not saying that. They're saying some shit that leads you to believe in between. he knows damn well when he went in there, because he starts to explain about his health and all this other weird shit. He knows damn well the better fighter he was is when he fought Terrence Spence. He knows that he was the better fighter then. He knew who came out of that the better man. He knows that. But instead of just saying like, what they really think, it seemed like they have these, like I said, somebody's instructing them on how to go about promoting this fight. Shawn also knows. These two dudes know that they had to get themselves up high above what they normally would do just to go in there and fight this dude the first time. Shawn is a guy who laid back in training. His father didn't set it. He didn't set it. He thought he was gonna go out there and beat the man with just his experience. Bullshit. That's crazy. Kell Brooke challenged himself by going up to fight Gennady Golovkin. He looked real good in the first couple of rounds until he got his face broke. So he knows that he was better when he went into the Errol Spence fight. Now when he's going into the Terrence Bud Crawford fight, he done had all these years dealing with all types of weird shit, drugs and all this up and down in weight and all this shit. He knows that. Say this shit and stop fucking around the bush, man. Damn, these guys is just like, come on.
Right. So let's see.
At least Barry Hunter laid it on the line about what he thought about Americana, because I remember that shit. I remember Barry Hunter not wanting Americana in there with goddamn Canelo. I remember him voicing his opinion about that shit, and I was like, "You kind of right." And then when I watched Canelo nail that nigga with that, it's like Americana got the same type of game plan. And no matter what type of training he do, he's going to throw these combinations that you can time. And Canelo timed him so crazy with that shot. It's just like, that was just dumb on him, So you went out there and did that dumb shit, not thinking that dude was going to be able to time you and hit you on your chin. That's on you.
What's up, Mike Biggs Boxing? Y'all subscribe to Mike Biggs Boxing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Mike Biggs Boxing. Make sure he get some subscribers over there.
I was watching two brothers earlier today. He knows boxing. I think they go by. They was breaking down something like feminine attributes of Bud. And then when I started thinking about it, it kind of like I used to be around kids on my job, so I was around.
Hold on for a second. Bud's gonna start spinning. Yeah, I did block you because me and my man, we cooking here, and I don't want to hear some of that bullshit that you're gonna bring to my channel. I'll bring you up later once we get done with some of this here, but we don't need no bullshit from no Bud dumbass fans. You know what I'm saying right now. I don't care if you think I blocked you because of fear or you kiss my ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right now we doing our thing. So you can run your mouth in the comments, but I'll bring you up another time. But right now we're trying to cook on this interview, and I gotta load y'all, so I may have to shut this shit down anyway. I just gotta load in, so so I got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So take your little troll ass on somewhere, okay? All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so the brothers
these Bud fans is something else, bro. He's like, go search out your own channels, man, and make your own fucking content. You know what I'm saying? It's like no grown men don't have time for that bullshit. Who puts a fucking makes a thing Bud going to stop Spence? Bro, get your ass on it. As a matter of fact,
but you know what?
Get this nigga up out of here, man. It's like, get your ass up out of here with that bullshit. It's like nobody got time for these little kids. Go ahead.
When I think about these guys that's defending Bud now, and with their like sheep mentality, with their sheep attributes, with those brothers putting out what they put out today, I'm starting to think that a lot of his fans may not have men around them, may have grown up with just women around them and have female attributes. When they went to
that, I think it's the social media age, because there's money to be made on both sides. A lot of these guys probably don't even like boxing. They just like the argument and the controversy. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
That's a female attribute. If they're getting on here just to troll, when you hear somebody talking about, I just want to troll, man, get the fuck out of here with that. Nobody's sitting here trying to start no argument, because grown men who take life serious. This is what I told my younger brother. After we grew up in the streets, we from South Philly, We grew up in the streets, and my younger brother, the elder to my youngest brother, was murdered. The guys tried to kill both of my brothers in the same night, right? So I tell him, I talked to him. He got stabbed up in the argument when he was trying to go get some money from a guy that owed him some money. So I told him after he got out of the hospital, man, I said, you have to grow up and have a mindset of a man when you want to, if you want to be out in these streets, man. You can't be thinking, I'm going out here fighting nobody, man. All that fighting stuff, all that I'm going to whip on his ass stuff is over, because you went into an argument with the guy, went out to try to whip on his ass and thought that was going to just be it, and he stabbed you up. Now, where are you at? You know, you have to have a mindset either to walk away from it like a man, saying that this dude ain't gonna give me my money, leave that alone, or you have to go beyond, above and beyond, you know, having a fight, because these guys is going to, you know, you're going to come out on the other end of that, just like what he did. So I tell him he can't have that mindset no more, you know?
Yeah, it's true, man. Because
a lot of these men out here have feminine mindsets where it's not about fighting and walking away no more. It's about, I'm going to try to defend myself as best as I can. And if it come down to having to, you know, murder this guy, I'm going to murder him.
Well, I look at it like this, you know what I'm saying? As a man get older, the more he acquires in life, the more responsibilities you have, it makes you you can't do the street shit, because you got a mortgage, you got kids in college, you got little kids you're raising, you got to feed them. You know what I'm saying? You got to look out for their welfare, not just your welfare. So you got to have the mindset where you got to stay out of trouble. There's a lot of people out there with nothing to lose. There's a lot of young men out there, a lot of young women with nothing to lose. They go out here and they set up other guys, and we see a lot of retaliation happening, like in Atlanta, like the young lady who got shot down in Atlanta. You know, so she was one of those young ladies that go out here and set up guys. She was an Instagram influencer. She was fine as hell too, but she got killed because she was, you know, setting up niggas, and niggas found out who she was, and they came back and and took care of her. So what we see with a lot of the women violence that's going on, they were set up girls. You know what I'm saying? They were setting up dudes. It's an easy hustle. And once the dude find out, if they don't go in there and if they don't delete the guy, he's going to find out, you know what I'm saying? He's going to put it together. Oh, she came here and she left the door open. You know what I'm saying? She got me drunk and these dudes came in and they robbed me. So you got to watch yourself and be careful, because there's a lot of dudes out here who don't want to work, who don't want to do it the traditional way. They want to hustle. They want to be scammers. And you got to keep yourself, you know, out of situations, because they draw you in just so they can do something to you, to take your money or to take your car or to take your life. And we got to be careful not to get drawn into that, because you're not on that type of time, you know what I'm saying, 100% of the time, because you got responsibilities, right? You got a life that you're trying to take care of. And there's a lot of guys out here you can't mix it up with, you know, they don't have the same responsibilities that you have. So, you know, it may seem like it weakens you, but overall, you're the stronger person, because you're going about your life doing what's right, while they're out there thugging it out and doing the easy, cheap way of getting through life. And really, they're not progressing in their life. They're not building a strong foundation of how to lead as a man in a family. And so we continue this dumbass cycle of you know, having these young men coming up thinking they could say anything to anybody, thinking they could do anything to anybody. And it just it's a self-destruction type of situation we're in, man. It's like there's no way to win. The only thing you can do is kind of keep yourself out of that element, you know what I'm saying? Because these kids, they don't have any critical thinking skills, you know what I'm saying? They just act on raw emotions, you know what I'm saying? You know, because you can see they can't wait for somebody to disrespect them, and they feel like that's their chance to show off in life, their chance to, you know what I'm saying, show that he's better than you, or show you that he's tougher than you. It's like, it's really crazy, man, what's going on. And they're willing to throw their life away, you know what I'm saying, on one incident, on being angry and shit like that. So the jails are full of niggas like that. While you're trying to, you know, build something, you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, progress black families and stuff like that. They don't care about none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to make you look bad. They're just trying to, screw you over. And we just got a lot of Negroes with that kind of mindset, and it's scary. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care about nobody or nothing. So you just got to kind of try to separate yourself from that. And I don't know what the answers are. So but let's get back into boxing. So I don't know. I could go on a tangent. We'll have more discussions like that. But go ahead.
That's what I was talking about. Like a lot of these children that I noticed that's raised by their mothers, when they turn into men, when they grow older, they have no integrity. They just lie without thinking about what they're saying. They basically just do stuff without thinking about the consequences of what they do. And a lot of these Buff fans remind me of that because, they say stuff not doing the research. I like the research is out there. If I can do it, you can do it. You can go and find the truth just like I can. So it's easy.
Well, it's not even about research. It's just the trolling nature of what's going on social media. You don't see, that's why social media is so fun for them, because you don't have to do the research. All you have to do is listen to some other channel and just perpetuate, a rumor like women do. Women perpetuate rumors. They perpetuate culture. Men don't do that shit. Women do that. See, so they don't feminize a lot of these men to use some of the same characteristic that women have. And see, if you're an old school guy, that's confusing to you because, that's just seem like some real gay shit, to perpetuate rumors and to come and act like and try to shame people, on their platform. That's real feminine ass shit, no man gonna be embarrassed for another man trying to confront them. That's just, but in a feminine mindset, when a man has a feminine mindset, they think that's something, right? They don't have no masculine energy to draw from or experience to draw from. They don't understand that shit don't mean nothing to us because we're about grinding and getting this money and raising our families and paying our bills and our mortgages. They don't understand that shit don't mean nothing to a real man because we're providers, right? All that shit they talking about, that's like women shit, you know what I'm saying? So when you come up on a man talking about, you block me, so you don't want me to tell my truth. Look, bro, that's whole shit. Get the fuck out of here with that, bro. Go get a job, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a real man picks up on that because he knows where he's getting that from. Like, if you've been around women, you'd have had multiple women throughout the years from being a teenager to your older man. You know where that comes from, so you see it. But when you try to point something out like that, or you try to explain to these weirdo ass dudes something like that, they still can't understand it because they've been raised by women and they have that mindset that shit. They're
gonna book up at you and try to shame you. They think
can't see it because they're not men. They just basically,
just like women. A man can have a gun, a machine gun, a tank, and a woman will still stand there and dare him to do something. Just because of the societal parameters that you don't supposed to touch women. But see, they're not dealing with men from our era. They're dealing with the new school who will fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? These young guys will fuck you up. They don't give a damn. You stand there if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to cut you off quick. Have you been watching the news lately about the cross-dressing man in Philly who ran around shooting people? You see that yet?
Where was it? What happened?
It was in Southwest Philly. A guy who lived in that neighborhood, who was going as a woman, who was dressing up like a woman and trying to look like a woman.
Wow, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, they got it all on the news. It's out there. So
he was dressed up as a woman, putting a wig on, probably got panties on and shit. Probably put a tampon in too.
He grew his hair real long and he had braids. And it felt like I worked in the neighborhood that he was living in, right? And I used to see him and I used to just always think that he was just an ugly woman, like I was just like, damn, that's an ugly ass fucking woman. But he had went and got him a assault rifle, a handgun, a bulletproof vest, a ski mask, and ran around the neighborhood dressed all in black, shooting at. He shot up 2 little kids, He shot up a
What?
car. Yeah, the weird type of shit. If you remember the shit that happened in that church in Texas with the transgender woman trying to be a man, shot up those kids in that church and those people, similar to that. But he ran around chasing out the little kids, shooting at them, chasing out the cars, shooting at them. He did this for about a good 3 or 4 blocks until he gave himself up to the police. He murdered 5 people in that whole scenario.
Damn.
He murdered 5 people in that scenario, like ranging from 15 all the way to 59. So like shit.
Yeah, I mean the mindset of some. I mean, please, women. You know what I'm saying? They gone rogue. You know what I'm saying? Give some of these weirdos some ass, bro. Please. You know what I'm saying? All problems derive from that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these. You know what I'm saying? Oh, go ahead and subscribe to Black Star Sports TV, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Check them out. And but a lot of these problems is these weirdos. They don't know how to approach women. They don't speak to women. They're afraid of women because they're watching social media and they're looking at the attitudes of the women. But from the old school guys know all you have to do is go and talk to them, break them down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? A woman is your helpmate. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of women, bro. Go up there and you talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? You just got to learn how to talk shit with women and stop being a fucking lame. Stop being online, looking at dark web shit, being weird, going into these weird spaces into your fucking mind and going all internal. And you know what I'm saying? You're all twisted up like the Twilight Zone inside your own head when all you need to do is go get you a girlfriend and she would normalize your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, stop killing people. Or I'm sorry. You know, I know how YouTube is. Stop going out here hurting people and go out here and get a fucking life. You know what I'm saying? That's what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Stop being so scared that you're going to get rejected. Men get rejected, 1,000 times, bro. You know what I'm saying? In a week. You know what I'm saying? If you're that kind of dude that go out there and holler at women. But that's what we do. We get rejected. You know what I'm saying? My brother used to go to the club. We used to go to the nightclub together. And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, every time he would pull a bad babe up out of there, just back in the 90s, right? And I was like, I asked him, I said, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I get shot down and you always got you a baddie come up out of here. How you do? And you know what I'm saying? What my brother told me? You know what my brother told me? He said, I go to every woman and I talk to every woman in the club. You know what I'm saying? That's
oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So so you can't be afraid of being rejected. These dudes are so afraid of being rejected that, you know, they create these little fantasy worlds, you know what I'm saying, where they wearing dresses and wigs and going around picking up weapons and shooting people because they hate women because they think women don't like them. No, you just got to be able to go through the fire with women. You know what I'm saying? You can't be afraid of getting rejected. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna try to embarrass you. Fuck all that. You the man. You know what I'm saying? You a man. You know what I'm saying? Be a man. You're gonna get rejected. You got to initiate. Don't get in there and try to get around a woman, try to befriend her, talk about other niggas and shit, hating on other niggas up under her, because she gonna treat you like you her gay best friend. That's what she gonna treat you like. She gonna put you in the friend zone and say, you know, you never gonna get none unless you get drunk or something like that. And you know what I'm saying? You just roll over on her. That's the only time you're gonna get some, you know what I'm saying? But she's never gonna respect you, hating on other dudes, shit like that. That's that old sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to set the terms, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking to a woman, right? Because 9 times out of 10, she don't even know what she wants. She don't even know what she like. That's why we got so many women out here getting pregnant by random dudes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just kind of crazy because we done got away from the masculine energy, and we done got away from the, you know, raising up masculine men. You know, everybody's feminized now. They all should be wearing wigs and putting tampons in their ass and shit nowadays. So it's just I'm sorry, we done got away from the damn thing. You know, we can go on and on about this shit.
Go ahead, run the video.
You know, let's get back to the video. You know what I'm saying? I do have a load. I'm gonna have to get up out of here soon. Let me see.
On Errol and Crawford and Golovkin have to say the best I've been in with him. You know, they've got that aura about him. They've got that, you know, they've got the X factor, you know, both fighters. But I think Terence Crawford, to me, he can box either style, orthodox, southpaw. You know, he's a very sharp shooter, he's a very good finisher. You know, I think the stronger guys, Errol, Spence. But like I said, it's a small margin, you know, in this fight. It's going to come down to, like Virgil Hunter said, who prepared the best, you know, and who's going to go in there and do, like he's just pointed out, you know, not let the other fighter do what he's come to do, you know, and just be as, you know, like Shawn said as well, they're going to need every game plan to go into this fight. They need absolutely everything they've learned all the career, all the life in this fight, because this is the real test. Who number one is in the division.
Kell, are you concerned for Errol that he might have a little bit of ring rust because he hasn't been in the ring since April of last year, which would make it over a 15-month layoff that he's going to be encountering coming up on Saturday, July 29th, when he matches up against Terence Crawford?
It is, yeah. You know, I think him mentally he'll know that as well. You know, he'll be questioning himself about, you know, at the time that he's not being active in a proper fight. So, you know, I think, you know.
Now, that's just that's just trash right there. It's like we saw this man come back after a car crash, right? And this wasn't his first layoff. I'm talking about even before that. It was he had a 9-month layoff before he fought Kell Brooke, right? It was 9 months before he fought Kell Brooke. That was a layoff. He shouldn't even be saying this because he knew Errol Spence Jr. didn't fight 9 months before he took his belt. You know what I'm saying? He had 14 months off when he fought Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Then he had some time between when he fought Eudanis Ugas. He had an eye retina injury. You know, he's supposed to have fought Manny Pacquiao, right? So what are they talking about, bro? This dude, he don't take no tune-ups. He goes straight into the fight. Yeah, he might look a little rusty because he's been out the ring, but you can see Errol Spence Jr.'s, you know, it takes a little bit of time for him to get his timing. Any fighter, really, when you're in the ring, because you're fighting against another active fighter. And depending on the quality of fighter, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna take you a while to get your timing. It's gonna take you a while, depending on how good that fighter is. You're not just gonna go in there. If the fighter ain't shit, like the opponents, but Crawford been fighting, you can go in there, you can style on them, you can dominate, you can fight backwards, you can fight with your hands behind your back because the motherfuckers ain't shit, right? But when you fighting the top guys, and this is why Bud Crawford gets the criticism that he gets, when you fight the top guys that's in the division, they're better. They got better defense. They, you know, so they got better reflexes. They're better athletes. So, you know what I'm saying, miss me with the shit that, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be out the ring and be worried mentally that I've been out the ring for so long, so I don't know if I can beat this guy. No, Errol Spence Jr. don't think like that. His career reflects that he don't give a fuck about being out the ring. That's what his career reflects, that he's very confident in his ability to come off a layoff and be good in the ring, right? Long as he takes, like he said, proper preparations, and he already got the mindset, so that mental shit, he could just throw that out the window because we already know Errol Spence Jr. mindset and his will and determination is second to none. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish they kept it more real and stopped trying to create you know, some kind of conversation or narrative just to be saying something. And they should have had me on that. You know what I'm saying? I was told them, Kell, move your ass out the way, bro. You just talking. You know what I'm saying? It's like, keep it real, bro. You know Errol Spence Jr. don't give a damn about no layoff. He don't take no tune-ups. You know what I'm saying? He don't take no tune-ups. He didn't tune up before he fought you. He didn't take no tune-ups before he fought Shawn Porter. He didn't take no tune-ups before he fought Danny Garcia. And the man was in car accidents. The man had eye retina surgery. So come on now, we got to just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? What you got anything on that?
Oh man, I was in the chats. I didn't lost pace.
That's okay. We'll get back to it. I just wanted to hit that little point.
Nah, I'm on point though. Like yeah, like I said, I mean, Derek James said at one point in time in the interview that he really doesn't watch boxing. So now that I think about it, maybe some of these guys really just don't watch boxing. They don't watch the boxing news and they don't keep up with shit. But if you know that you're about to be interviewed for something, I mean, these people may be paying him for this interview. They may not be paying him for this interview. These interviews aren't just jumping up and giving you 15 minutes worth of time to get yourself prepared. go and do some research. Go and try to find out something so you can have some
Yeah.
points to talk about instead of just talking off the top of your damn head about weirdo type shit. Because like what you was just explaining, he know damn well like Errol is getting the better of sparring over there with Derek James. So you gotta pick that into your play. You can't just say that Crawford, Errol Spence sparring is better than Terrence Bud Crawford real fucking fights. His sparring is better than his real fights. So you give that to. You can't just say, okay, he's been out of the ring for a while. He ain't been doing nothing for a while. Look at the camp that he's in. Then look at what Terrence Crawford is in. And he said something about the layoff and like Bud ain't been out of the ring for a while. Even if he did fight, it depends on who he fought. And the way he looked at that what was that, Evanesian shit? He looked like shit. That was a sparring match, a light sparring match for sure. So dumbass dudes like, man, this dude is just dumb. Dudes is just fucking talking off the top of their head with oh man, saying nothing. Saying nothing. You saying the same shit that everybody already know. We already know about the car accident. We already know about the eye injury. We already know about all this weird shit. We had to go out and spend time out of the ring. But how is he looking right now? You're not explaining to nobody how this man is looking right now. And that's what we want to hear you say. We want to give us an honest opinion about what you see these guys looking like. They're putting training videos up so you can go see them. God damn.
That's right. What you think about this film study so far? What you heard of this interview? What you think?
I mean, I honestly believe they don't watch Spence, man. They sound like they do not watch Errol Spence. They don't. They don't listen to how like these other like professionals like fucking Leonard Ellerby, even Tank. The way that they talk, they know Earl gonna watch this dude. Leonard Ellerby say that Earl he can adjust on the fly. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got Brett man saying goofy shit. Like, dude, worry about why your fighter's cardio is so shit after the first half of fights. That's what you need to be worried about.
Well, my only thing about Brett. Go ahead.
No, you keep on. I was done. Like, these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about, man.
Well, I think Breadman had the best insight, but the way he curtailed his analysis towards Bud Crawford was wrong, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he had he used an example the way he used Mikey Garcia, but I don't want to get ahead of the interview. We're just gonna chop it up as we go. But I may have to shut this down because I got a load coming in, but we're gonna go as long as we can. Okay.
It is worrying, but time will tell. Time will tell. I think that Crawford's been, his recent fight has been looking very well, and he's going to be confident going into this fight. But like we said, these are true champions, and we're going to see.
You see Shawn Porter, he can't wait to run his mouth. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Isn't this video titled a prediction from champions or a prediction from professionals or something like that?
No, it's just a breakdown of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. It's just a breakdown of the fight.
That's all it was. It wasn't titled with predictions in the title.
No, well, I guess just a breakdown from all these guys of how they think. What are the advantages and the key strategies. For the fight. Just getting a breakdown. It says that's what the title says. It's Shawn Porter Kell book breakdown. Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly what they've got in their arsenal, come this month.
Redman, for you, if you were in the corner of Terrence Crawford, if you were Brian McIntyre, Bomac, how would you attack Errol Spence, and what game plan would you create to be able to remain undefeated and upend Errol Spence?
It's a good question. Obviously, he's 39-0, so they've always come up with the right game plan. Crawford doesn't have a lot of.
Now, didn't he ask how would he beat Errol Spence Jr.? Then he comes right out talking about Crawford has a 39-0, so they always have to get. Why is he talking about Terrence Crawford game plan? When he should be talking about how Bud Crawford can beat Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, that just kind of struck me as weird. But, you know, Breadman's a brilliant dude, so, you know what I'm saying, let's just see how he ties it in.
Chinks in his armor. The one thing that I will be concerned about in this fight that I was able to see Kell and Shawn do is, for some reason, Terrence is a little bit of a slow starter. For some reason, I don't know if it's a slow starter, but it takes him a little while to adjust. And in the beginning rounds of his fight,
shouldn't he be talking about how Bud Crawford is how would he attack and break down Errol Spence Jr. instead of talking about how Errol Spence Jr., you know, the problems that Bud Crawford had? So that was just kind of weird to me. You know, looked like he just kind of ignored what the fuck my man was talking about, just went on his own, just kind of put it the way he wanted to talk about what he wanted to talk about. So that was the first thing I noticed. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, all right, so Breadman, you talk about what you want to talk about.
Bud Crawford fans do that.
Hey, Pooh, I got something to say. Oh, my
question. Bud Crawford fans, when you ask them a question, they take you all over the goddamn place. He's doing the same damn thing. Bud does this. Actually, Bud does the same damn thing too. He'll start talking about some other weirdo shit. When you ask him a specific question for a specific answer, he'll start explaining to you all types of other stuff.
Oh, I was undisputed champion. I fought Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns.
I think somebody checked him on that, though. I think he was on one of those talk shows recently, and the guy asked him something. He was like, man, I didn't ask you nothing about that.
Right. I was undisputed at one point. I'm on a whole nother level. That shit had me rolling when he talking about comparing my resume to Jamel Charles. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is he talking about, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm on a whole nother. Yeah, congratulations on your undisputed. But I'm on a whole nother level. I was like, is this dude, is he delusional? Is he fucking crazy? Yeah. Compare his resume to Jamel Charles' resume, bro. You got to be out your rabbit ass mind. But you know, this is the shit we deal with. Say what?
He out there believing what the media say about him.
I mean, he can't. You got it. I mean, if you look at the resumes alone, bro, it's no way his shit his undisputed run compares to Jamel Charles' run. So I'm just saying, like, these guys, they just say anything, you know what I'm saying, without, you know what I'm saying, it being concrete or you know what I'm saying, bearing up to the facts of the reality and shit. So it just kind of gets on your nerve, and you know what I'm saying. But let's continue with Breadman. I do think he's more the deeper thinker here on the panel. Let's see. But I know Virgil Hunter's on some shit too, though. But you know, he's just so damn laid back and serious with shit.
With Kell, Brooke, and Shawn Porter, they was able to get a lot of good work done. So I would be real conscious of that. Be real conscious of Terrence remaining defensively responsible early in the fight, because I think he's a terrific fighter. He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen. But that's the one little thing about him early in fight. You could kind of like get to him before he kind of adjusts and makes his adjustments. And with Errol is a little bit of a snowball fighter. You know, if he gets his rhythm and he's coming forward and he's walking you down behind that hard southpaw jab, you know, it could. I'm not saying Terrence can't adjust to Errol. I'm just saying that with a fighter like Errol, you don't want him to get his rhythm and start going downhill on you. So that would be, you know, sometimes you look at fighters and you become infatuated with their ability, and everybody's infatuated with Terrence's ability to score these beautiful knockouts and hit guys with shots they don't see. But as a trainer, you look for a tendency that your fighter has of not so much a flaw, but, you know, things that he can work on. And that's the one thing that I would be worried about in this fight, of letting Errol get in his rhythm, establishing that hard southpaw jab and starting to go downhill. That would be the first thing I will address if I was in Terrence's corner. The other thing would be it long and kind of wears you out. And I've never seen, you know, besides Shawn, nobody really go to Terrence's body all night long, you know.
Where have you heard that before? Where have y'all heard this before? Y'all heard all this on Pool Counter Boxing, you know what I'm saying, who's not a trainer, who's not a fighter. You've heard this shit on this channel a million billions times that you're tired of hearing it. Everything he's saying, I've said that right here on this channel, the way he's saying it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really hits Bud to the body. Nobody really pressures Bud because that's why he don't fight top opponents. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't keep the pressure on him. We saw a wore down Shawn Porter, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't keep the pressure on Terrence Crawford because he didn't train or prepare correctly. Even he's now coming out saying that he didn't follow his dad's advice, and train is hard for Terrence because he didn't really want to beat Terrence the way he wanted to beat Errol Spence Jr. He didn't want to get embarrassed in the ring because he thought Errol Spence Jr. was going to come out there and be that nigga with the shag. Shout out to Everything Boxing. He thought he was going to be that nigga with the shag, and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this man, you know, say Brett man say the way he's breaking it down, even that he's finally getting to the shit, you know what I'm saying, after, you know, mentioning all that shit about Bud, you know what I'm saying, being slow and all that stuff, you know, he's finally getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence Jr., you know, when he's in top shape, he can do his grind down style, you know what I'm saying, grind your ass down style, even though that's not something you can maintain going up into your older years. And they mentioned that in this interview. I don't want to get ahead of the interview. You know what I'm saying? Brett, man, he's giving you a nice look into what the fight is probably going to look like. You know what I'm saying? He understands the dynamics of the fight. He understands that Errol Spence Jr. is the bigger natural welterweight, right? He understands that Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying, is going to come in with his controlled aggression and educated footwork and try to cut off that ring on Terrence Crawford. And since Crawford has never nobody ever been able to sustain a body attack on Crawford and slow his ass down, he's able to keep that same energy throughout the fight and be able to turn up. But Errol Spence Jr., breaking your body down, you don't have that energy there in the second half to turn up, right? That's why he beats your fucking body. He puts that work in, so you don't have those energy resources to fall back on. And that's what Breadman is talking about. Go ahead.
Hey, Fool, check this out right here. If you notice something, like during this whole interview, everybody's every time you watch an interview and they ask somebody about the Spencer Crawford fight, the one question they ask is, what would you do to stop Errol? Or do you think Crawford will be able to stop Errol? That's a glaring question. Now, everybody picking Crawford, but nobody is saying, what do you have to do to stop Crawford? Nobody's asking, can EJ stop Crawford? Is the one question that keeps coming up is, can Bud stop EJ? Can Bud slow EJ down?
Facts.
So well,
the reason that is because Bud is the one with the string of knockouts or TKOs behind his name, right? He's the one that's flashy. He's the one that's looked at, you know what I'm saying, like he's got all these abilities. And so, you know, Errol Spence Jr. is the pressure fighter. So he's going to get hit. You know what I'm saying? He's coming forward. You know what I'm saying? Bud is a counterpuncher, but he's a counterpuncher with power. So they're just kind of like giving it to Bud that he can lay EJ out.
But why aren't they asking, can EJ take Bud's punch? The only question they're asking is, can Bud stop this motherfucker?
Right, because they think that's his only chance to win. Right, they really think that's his only chance to win. See, there's things that they're not saying, but they're trying to prolong the conversation. Because if you go in there and if you just keep it real and say, well, shit, EJ is going to keep the pressure on you, and he's going to cut the ring off and make you fight. But then what's Bud?
They basically saying he got to punch his chance without saying he got to punch his chance. They don't want to be that damn disrespectful towards Bud.
You got to prolong the conversation. You know what I'm saying? You got to prolong this conversation because we already know what the dynamics of the fight is, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's picking Bud, but at the same time, you're going to pick him and say he's going to win. But then you're like, well, how you going to stop EJ? Can you think he can stop EJ? Well, I don't know. That shouldn't even be a question. You picking Bud, you'd be like, oh, man, Bud's going to get him out of there easy. Be like Bernie. You know what I mean?
They know what it is.
See, they like you say, they know what it is, but they don't just want to come out and put, they got to prolong the conversation for entertainment value, right? So, you know what I'm saying? So Brad Man, though, he gets it in, though. He breaks it down. He breaks it down to the itty bitty committee. You know what I'm saying? He really does get to it. It's just he's long-winded and he's trying to, do it for entertainment purposes and stuff.
Yeah. Hey, and I don't know if you've seen it or not. PBC got a teaser out for that show for that All Access that'll be coming on tomorrow. That teaser looked pretty good. Got me salivating, man. I want to see what they're looking like in training.
Yeah, that I mean, they only give you like glimpses when you go to the Instagram pages. You only get glimpses and stuff like that, So, what I'm saying, it's going to be.
PBC put an official teaser out on YouTube.
Oh, okay, cool.
About 3 minutes.
Okay,
it's a teaser for the All Access that's coming on the 8th. They'll be releasing a full, I think, 45-minute All Access.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be coming out tomorrow, and they released the teaser. It looked good too.
Okay, so let's get back into.
Hey, hold on, one more thing. In that teaser, you get a real good look at how big EJ big, man. He big.
You got me goddamn wanting to see it. Goddamn it, you know what I'm saying? They might block this shit, but let me see. You said PBC.
Paul.
Yeah.
In the private chat.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm like looking for this damn teaser. Now they got me looking for the damn teaser. Let me see. So, okay. Let me see. Okay, I'm looking at it. Okay, we'll have to, because they'll block this shit. You know, see if I pull that up, they'll block this shit.
Damn.
Hold on. They will block it if I pull that up.
Hey, right at the beginning, look at how big EJ looked right at the beginning of it, if you can see it.
Yeah, I see that.
Well,
let me see. I don't want to lose this. Let me see how we can do this. Let me see, because I know they'll block my shit though if I pull that up. So we'll just say that. We'll say that for the next live stream.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So let's get back into the interview.
If you notice, I notice small things. Terrence wears his trunks up kind of high, and I will be curious to see, how he can overcome Errol's grinding body shots. Errol hits you with a right hook to the body and a left from the southpaw stance. It's like a left uppercut, and he rinses and repeats it. He does it all night long. So I would be conscious to see that. And the third thing is, I believe that Terrence is the puncher in this fight. Not so much that he punches harder than Shawn. Punches harder than Errol. I think he can hit you with shots that Errol doesn't hit guys with. Errol kind of beats you down with his power, where Terrence hits you on the money with shots you don't even see. And I would have him punching with Errol. I know that Errol's a bigger guy, and I know that Errol is perceived to be stronger, but I would have Terrence punching with him. I think Terrence is really, really gifted where he can keep his eye on the target and punch with guys and land clean shots. I don't think he's the hardest puncher I've ever seen as far as one-punch knockout, but he has that ability to hit you while you're punching with a shot you don't see, and he doesn't have to load up on it. It's like a fast, snappy shot. I think that his victory over Kell Brooke is underrated. I think Kell Brooke was fighting a great.
Now here's where the bullshit come in. All right. So now this is where the bullshit comes in, right? Because we know everything we know about what was going on with Kell Brooke at that time. His trainer, John Inc. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see Kell Brooke lunge back when he said that shit? Rewind it and look at Kell Brooke.
But this is the thing. In the same
that shit funny as fuck, man.
Hey, in the same interview, your boy Kell Brooke said that I ain't have my trainer, bro. He don't want to take no shine away from my boy.
Brooke couldn't believe that shit. He said, like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You know
what I'm saying? So he couldn't make the weight for 3 years. He made the weight. He cut that weight, probably doing cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Just to get that money grab. See? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't campaigning at 147. It'd be different if he was in the weight class and he was operating at that weight, but he shrunk down without his classic trainer, without the training he's used to make him get better, to stay focused. And he fought one of the top guys, or supposedly top pound for pound guys, you know what I'm saying, who's naturally been fighting at that weight class, right? So it's just kind of crazy to me how they just give Kell Brooke You know what I'm saying? Like he was the sharpest he ever been in his career. Like he didn't get broke down by Triple G and Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying, to come out to fight a guy who undefeated in Terrence Crawford, you know what I'm saying, and never lost, you know what I'm saying, to beat Kell Brooke. Of course he was going to beat Kell Brooke because he's diminished, right? Even Kell Brooke in this interview said he wasn't right. He didn't prepare right because his trainer didn't even accept, you know what I'm saying, train him for this fight. And it's like people just gloss over that. Even Breadman talking about Kell Brooke was sharp. He was ready. I'm like, bro, shut the hell up with that bullshit, bro. Shut the hell up with that.
You know something? I got an issue with this whole interview.
Right.
They got, because first off, you went got Virgil Hunter, which is really he's kind of like connected to the Crawford camp. They friends with Crawford or whatever. Then you got Breadman, who's he's so damn wishy-washy. Then you got two of the boxers that hate Errol Spence the most. Those are two of the saltiest losers. You remember when Kell Brooke came over here?
That's like getting your ex-wife to come in and tell you how great a dude you are. And try to break.
Because you know him and Kell Brooke got into it after the fight. When Kell Brooke came to America, EJ like, yeah, I'll fight you again, but you come here, you got to come to America, and I'm gonna step on you just like I did over there in England. He told him that to his face, man. I'm gonna step on you like I did in England. So, you know, I'm like, man, you went got two of the saltiest motherfuckers. Kell Brooke mama picking EJ. That nigga grandmama is too.
And to add insult to injury, like, you know, Shawn Porter when he prepared for EJ, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about how he was surprised at how dumb, basically. I'm just paraphrasing. That EJ, you know what I'm saying? He thought he had a higher boxing IQ. And I'm just putting it that way. Shawn, you know, if we can get to that point before I have to get out of here. He was surprised at how
Kenny Porter got EJ too.
Let me
That's
finish.
what I was just gonna say.
Let me finish. He hits EJ with a shot. Like he was surprised at how dumb Errol Spence Jr. was during the fight because he kept getting caught with some kind of pullback counter he was doing. I'm like, Shawn, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody was shocked during the interview that he stated it like that, like he got a higher boxing IQ. He's always trying to act like he's a smarter boxer than Errol Spence Jr. But you lost, bro. You got dropped in the 11th round for all your fucking intellectual knowledge of boxing. You know what I'm saying? You got your ass beat. And he'll turn around and he'll give Keith Thurman some kind of supernatural credit for switching his mouthpiece in the middle of a fucking fight. And he just thought that was so damn dynamic, and you lost that one too. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy how, you know, I was surprised by how unintellectual Errol Spence Jr. was in the ring. I'm like, bro, if you don't take your soft ass on with that bullshit, but you know,
so Dino, his daddy love EJ.
Right. So I was just surprised.
His daddy love Earl more than he loves Shawn.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'm just like, did that shock anybody when he told me so? I was surprised that EJ he couldn't catch on to the pullback counter. He wasn't, his boxing IQ wasn't as high as I thought it would be. And you know what I'm saying? But he came on back on and tried to clean it up, you know what I'm saying, by saying he thought the stain was gone. And he thought
when I heard it, I frowned up. I was like, man, did you lose that fight like 7-4 or something like that? Man, he lost like, it was what, 8-5 plus really it was like
8-4, 9-3.
Yeah, 9-3. Like, man, he beat the brakes off you. What the fuck is you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's just all freight. See, he loves this arena of where you can, you know, paint a picture with your words and create a narrative. See, and he lives. You can see he's always trying to interject, always trying. You know, somebody brings up a great point and he wants to get in. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's the only thing I hate about Shawn Porter. He loves attention, and you know what I'm saying, he likes throwing like passive aggressive shots and shit, then trying to clean it up and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's like
you
somebody
know,
that's like somebody calling you a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? But he is good though. He is A plus, but you know what I'm saying? He was a piece of shit when I fought him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, but he tries to clean it up later. I'm just like, bro, stop that shit, bro. Come on now. You too, you know what I'm saying? You're too renowned.
Paul, you know, on Quarterway Podcast, even his partners on there was like, yeah, man, you do be hating on EJ.
EJ said,
he's like, I do? You think I be hating for real? Like, yeah, bro, you be hating. EJ like, yeah, man, you be hating, but I ain't tripping. You know, man, yeah, that nigga be hating.
And this interview is an example of that. And I think Breadman is probably one of the most smoothest of them all because he do give an in-depth analysis of why, you know what I'm saying, what he's saying, you know what I'm saying, and it has a lot of validity the way he puts it, you know what I'm saying. But you can tell, you know, where he going with the slant. You can see the slant in his shit, and we'll point that out when we get to it.
And Pool. Notice how Breadman's fighters. Notice how they fight. They fight similar to Bud, so he resonates with Bud, and he knows that style can't beat a pressure fighter. Hence, Canelo pressuring Caleb Plant, breaking Caleb Plant down.
Right, and that's a good point.
What's Breadman fighter that just lost?
Yeah, that's what he just said. Caleb Plant. That's what he
Caleb Plant. Not Caleb Plant. What's the other one that just lost? The black guy. He just got beat by Adamas.
That was J-Rock. Was it J-Rock?
Yeah, J-Rock. EJ beat
J-Rock
in the amateurs too.
Right. So basically, the history of Breadman with his skilled fighters all get beat by pressure fighters. Right. So you know what I'm saying. So he should definitely recognize that.
So he knows that type of style.
Yeah, he knows how effective and dangerous that pressure style is because it defeats his style. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, out of all the fighters he's had, you know what I'm saying, they've gotten their ass beat by pressure fighters, by pressure. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Adamas, what you say, Julian Williams, and Caleb Plant all got their ass whipped by motherfuckers pressuring them. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back into it.
Fight. I think he was in shape. He was sharp. I thought he won the first 2 or 3 rounds. I got to look back on it, but I thought he was doing great. And Terrence made an adjustment and threw a great punch while Kell was punching that Kell never saw. And, you know, people dismissed it and was like, well, Kell's a little old. No, Kell Brooke was
looking like I'll beat your ass, nigga.
He was ready to fight, and he was doing really, really good. And I think that punch and that victory gets a little bit underrated, but that's Terrence's career in a nutshell. He does things that you know, that's so subtle that he probably doesn't get the full credit for him. So to answer you, I would make sure that got off to a more.
But that only attests to Kell Brooke having to shrink down and weight drain himself to 147. His punch resistance was not there because he had to drain down real quickly to get down to 147, a weight which he said he cannot make anymore. So when you force yourself like a Devin Haney to shrink yourself down to 135, looking like a skeleton, you don't have the punch resistance. You know what I'm saying, to fight somebody who's already acclimated to that weight, such as Bud Crawford. So it ain't so much that Bud Crawford is his power, it's just that you didn't have the same Kell Brooke. You didn't have the same version of Kell Brooke that fought Errol Spence Jr. Somebody who's
this is the same Kell Brooke that was taking punches from GGG and Errol Spence. You know, so yeah, punch resistance was gone.
Yeah, his punch. You know, he hadn't visited. Y'all, hold on. Let me get mine out. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't visited the weight class. You know what I'm saying, for 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying, before he had to go back and fight the top guy. You know what I'm saying, who's at the top of the 147 division. So, you know, these people are a little bit disingenuous when they start breaking down these fights like this. They don't talk about all the context behind why Kell Brooke took a straight right to the face and that took him out. Come on, bro. We saw Kell Brooke take all kind of shit from EJ. EJ was punishing Kell Brooke to the body, to the face. He had punch resistance then because he was a champion. He was the best at welterweight at the time. He was not the best at welterweight when Bud Crawford fought him. He was not the best.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was at his worst. Go ahead.
Yeah, poor. Kell Brooke didn't. I could give credit to Bud for that punch because he knew exactly what he was doing. I think Bud went into that fight practicing a punch to punch Kell in his eye, and watching that fight, that punch that hit Kell hit him somewhere in the vicinity of his what was that? That would have been his left side. His nose starts bleeding right after that, and he looks dazed and confused. Kell Brooke didn't take a good shot from Bud. Kell Brooke quit. That's what the fuck Kell Brooke did. He realized where he got. He realized where he got hit, and he didn't want no more after that. Look at his face directly after Terrence hit him. The judge breaks. I mean, the ref breaks it up. He's bleeding in his nose. Kell Brooke is sitting there wondering, looking around like the shot was that damaging. But he's not. He's thinking in that point where that shot hit him and how much that shot might have cost him, and he's basically giving up after that. After that,
I feel like Ugas hit Errol harder than Bud hit Kell Brooke goofy ass.
Well, look at it this way: if Kell Brooke went in there half cocked, half prepared, right? So what was he going to do if he won the WBO belt? He couldn't stay at 147. It's not like he was going to keep the belt and try to win at 147. He went in there to get that $5 million payday, and he said, "I'm not going to sustain all this fucking damage." He didn't have enough energy. He couldn't go no damn 12, 10 rounds with Bud Crawford, who was acclimated at that weight. So you got to look at the little things. In the fight.
How soon was it that they offered him that fight? I heard it was like within maybe less.
Well, he had 5 weeks to train, but just like he wouldn't fight EJ. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be at his best before he faced somebody like EJ because he'd been in the ring with him. He knew that Errol Spence. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish because I'm gonna lose my train of thought. He got that grind style, so he knew you have to be in top shape to fight Errol Spence Jr., right? But against Bud Crawford, he just wanted the payday. Because he didn't. Once you shrink down, you don't have the stamina. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't get it done in 2 or 3 rounds, you finish, bro. That's why when you see these built-up fights, they catch people. You know what I'm saying? Off their game. You know what I'm saying? Try to bring them in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So they fighter could look good against them, right? Top rank, all these other, they don't put people in unless they know they got a 90% chance of beating that guy, right? And that's why Bud Crawford, he's always been well matched. He never fought Kell Brooke at the top of his game. He never fought Danny Garcia, Thurman them at the top of the game because it was too big of a risk. So I'm just tired of motherfuckers out here acting like they don't know this, right? We all know this shit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, 9 months prior to the fight, Kell Brooke was in rehab for cocaine.
Right.
And y'all remember because friend put the YouTube video out of him snorting cocaine. You can go find it on YouTube right now. Kell Brooke snorting cocaine. And when he came out of rehab, he was like 190 pounds.
Yeah, and they showed a picture. They showed a picture of it. So, this thing where Breadman is talking about Kell Brooke was sharp, he was ready, he was on top of the game. This is all bullshit, bro. Yep. It's all bullshit. So, Shawn Porter, ready for retirement. So this is why we say, Bud Crawford, this is a big step-up fight. All that bullshit of him knocking out 10 opponents straight don't really mean shit because he haven't fought anybody, just like Canelo haven't fought anybody with power that can put punches and bunches together like a Carlos Adames or Jamel Charlo or, Bubu Andrade, say somebody who can move out the way, somebody who got athletic ability. Bud haven't fought nobody like that. He haven't fought nobody like that. Let's just keep it real. And they keep playing this pretend game like this guy has been in there with the best of the best, like he fought other special fighters and he haven't. So, they need to miss me with this Bud got this supernatural ability. Yeah, that's against lesser dudes, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's about to get in here with the dude that can grind it out, somebody who could take a fucking punch, right? Bud haven't shown no kind of supernatural power in the fucking ring. He showed you that he can hit you with a punch that you don't see, but all boxers have that ability. All boxers have the ability to hit you with something that you don't see. Bud is just athletic with it, and he's fought the lesser opponents to make himself look good. That's
Hell,
it.
AB got that ability. Spence talking about when he fought AB, that was when AB was actually AB. Like he was like athletic as fuck.
Right.
Motherfuckers talking about Spence beat the shit out of AB.
And let's keep it real. You know, when you rely on your athletic ability, it just gives you ability to execute. You know what I'm saying, to hit the point that you're looking at. You know, from different angles, because you know, so you're agile, you're more agile, and you got the reflexes and speed to do it. So you know, but the thing is, EJ got that same ability. He just used it inside of a fundamental framework, which people don't recognize because he uses that style to minimize his mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He's a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to minimize his mistake by using basics. You know what I'm saying? Can he do all that shit Terrence Crawford do? He could do some of it. He could do a lot of it. But it don't really, it wears you out to do all that shit. That's why Terrence Crawford stayed in top shape, because he's jumping all over the ring like a monkey, right? He's jumping all over the fucking ring. He's trying to, you know, change up his rhythm, and he's got to do all this shit, you know what I'm saying, just to keep you off balance. And it's effective, you know what I'm saying, against lesser dudes. But he got a dude that don't give a shit about none of that. And Errol Spence Jr., he's going to be punishing Bud ass moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Bud ain't going to be able to move EJ back like he do other opponents. You know, where he just flashed the jab and try to be intimidating and change the look, change the levels to intimidate opponents and pot shotting them. That shit ain't going to work against EJ. You know what I'm saying? I think the world understands that. I think people who really watch boxing understand that Bud ain't going to be able to intimidate him like that. You know, even though he puts 20% on a punch, and then he'll put 60% on a punch by pot shotting and trying to hurt you, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's fighting a dude that feel like he's superior to him. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, you know what I'm saying? He don't think that Bud Crawford has better skills than him. He don't think Bud Crawford is tougher than him. So psychologically, Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying, going in thinking he's the man. That's a big part of it, because boxing is, you know what I'm saying, 80% mental, 20% physical, right? So that's what it is, bro. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's get back into it. I thought y'all had something. Let's get back into it.
A more defensively responsible start, not let Errol touch his body, and I will have him punching with Errol, because I think that he's the puncher in this fight in terms of being able to score that highlight film knockout.
At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our PER extraordinaire, Andrew Roberts. I'm sure the media has many questions to ask our esteemed panel. Showtime, Shawn Porter, Kell, Brooke, Virgil Hunter, and Stephen Breadman Edwards. Andrew, it's all you, my friend.
Thanks very much, Ray. Our first media question is going to come from Andrew Jones with Anscape.
We want to see your face, Andrew.
Yourself, and you can ask your questions.
We want to see your face, Andrew.
Hey, he just can't shut up, man. He can't shut his mouth, bro. He just got to say something.
I love you too, Shawn. We'll keep the focus on you guys. Andrew, please, if you would, unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Appreciate it, other Andrew, for the comedy, and Shawn with the funny line right there. I was going to ask Virgil where Damian Lillard was going to go in the trade discussions, but that's another conversation there. Wanted to ask you, gentlemen, as Stephen's making that great point about Terrence's subtle power and how his power has increased as he's moved up to 147. Do you believe that he will be able to stop Spence from coming forward with his power, or will Spence's power and at least his chin be resistant towards that, and he'll still keep on coming like Errol Spence does with his style? I asked that first to you, Virgil.
This question's for me?
Yes.
You know, it's funny. I had the fortunate time to spend in the gym one day with Terrence. He was down here visiting Andre, and he came to the gym. And one thing that I will say, that his physical strength is very underrated. I don't know if Shawn can attest to that or Kell can attest to that. The way he's built, genetically built, and the way he has stayed in the gym his whole career, he's never gotten out of condition, which brings the snap to his punch. I don't know if he remembers, but we've had it a couple of rounds. And as Brad said, he was pretty much accurate. He has a real buggy whip snap to his punch. It's not hard, but you could feel a snap. It's like if you're in a towel fight and you swing the towel, you can go all night long. But if you snap it, you're going to back off and say, what's going on? And his physical strength, he was a wrestler early on, and I've watched him tussle with big guys and get them down to the ground. So he's built from the feet up with his physical strength, not from the chest, the shoulders down. So I think he can generate a lot of power. The thing is, I like Errol and I like the way he fights, but at some point that grind down style, as you age, will slow up with you. So as B-Hop made 3 adjustments in his career. When he first started, he was the executioner, then he was X, then he became the alien, and he fought into his 40s because he made these adjustments as time went by. Because physically, those grind out camps where you have to fight that style that Errol fights, you have to grind every single day. And as Kell attested, he's had a lot of gaps in his career. The car wreck, you have to take that into effect. I don't care what you do or what you look like, that does have an effect. Errol himself has admitted that he's had a lifestyle that wasn't always good. That does damage.
Now, why do they always bring up this point when they talk about Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying, or they're trying to analyze him, even though they seen what he looked like after, you know, these points, right? They seen what he looked like against Udanis Ugas. They seen what he looked like against Danny Garcia. Why do they keep bringing up this car accident shit? You know what I'm saying? And other people are listening and they use the same talking points. What do y'all think about that? Fellas? Anybody there? Okay, well, we continue on.
Damage to the internal organs that's irreversible, and we just have to see. I think that his determination and his drive is A+, and that's going to be the factor in the fight. I think, again, it's who can stop the other guy from doing what he wants to do as opposed to me doing what I want to do.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. Our next question is going to come from Erica Fernandez with Sporting News. Erica, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question. Erica, can you hear us? Oh, all right. We'll try coming back to Erica. Next.
Thank you to all the fighters and trainers. We definitely appreciate your time and your perspective. My question is more so geared towards the fighters. Shawn and Kell, I'm sure you both studied immensely for your fights with Spence and Crawford respectively. Was there anything that caught you by surprise with either fighter, like whether it was like the speed, the strength, the angles, or the punch variety that you saw from both fighters?
I'll go ahead and go first. I'm definitely
surprise.
Definitely gonna paint this picture the correct way. When I fought Errol, going into that fight, I said I need everything to beat this guy. I can't leave anything at the gym. I can't leave anything at home. I had to take everything, and in order to beat this guy. And I think about 5 rounds went by, and just a simple move, a pullback counter, and I counter punched his jab with my jab, and he shook his head and he said something, and I thought to myself, "Oh, I got you." And what I realized in that moment was he's not as smart, not as intellectually sound as I thought he was going to be, and that seemed to kind of carry through the entire fight. I felt like I was a step ahead of Errol the entire fight, all the way up until that knockdown moment. And that was surprising to me. I thought that Errol.
Now that's what I'm talking about. What did y'all think about that, bro? Where did that come from? What's going on? Thank you for that $9.99 super sticker, People's Choice. You know, so we're trying to get it in, bro. Thank you. It goes toward the channel. You guys that, hey, Kareem, film study. Y'all in there, or am I muted or something? Y'all hear me? Hello, fellas. Y'all up in here? Film study, Dog Money, Kareem. You guys in here? Anyway. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm right here, Pool.
So, did y'all hear that part I just played?
Nah, replay it for him.
Hold on. Let's see, y'all on that damn food. Let me see.
Jab, and he shook his head and he said something, the correct way. When I fought Errol, going into that fight, I said I need everything to beat this guy. I can't leave anything at the gym. I can't leave anything at home. I had to take everything in order to beat this guy. And I think about 5 rounds went by, and just a simple move, a pullback counter, and I counter punched his jab with my jab, and he shook his head and he said something, and I thought I said, "Oh, I got you." And what I realized in that moment was he's not as smart, not as intellectually sound as I thought he was going to be, and that seemed to kind of carry through. I felt like I was a step ahead of Errol the entire fight, all the way up until that knockdown moment, and that was surprising to me. I thought that.
So what the hell?
I see why his dad spoke for him while he was like going up in his career, because he basically saying, and I'm not Spence, he's smart, he got IQ. He basically said that he got beat by a fighter who's not intellectually smart. He don't know how dumb he sounds saying that. Why would you say that? I see why Kenny Porter talked for him during his whole career.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Kareem? Dog money.
He probably dumb. And then, like, don't Bud do that shit when he get hit with a good shot? Don't he start talking shit, sticking out his tongue? But he not gonna mention that. He not gonna mention what Bud do.
Yeah, so I think
I don't understand like where the fuck he coming from. I don't know what Shawn Porter talking about.
Well, I mean, it's like you got to take a dig. It's like people can't give. Seems like anytime somebody says something good about Errol Spence Jr.'s skill set, or they talk about his fundamental style, it's like they keep it, they downplay it, and they keep it where it is, whereas they upplay Brooke Crawford's skill set, right? And so here he's talking about their fight, and one of the things he said that he wished he would have done in the fight was go to the body more. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't that show that you lack IQ? Doesn't that show that you don't? Don't that show that you dumb? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you didn't put in the work, because your daddy told you, and I remember this when he was in the corner. He said, give up the body and go to the head, right? So you looking for more flashy points, and you missed a whole lot in that fight.
He was missing a lot, Poole. He was missing a lot.
You were missing a whole lot. You was active as fuck, which is why that's why you went down in the 11th, because you was in the best shape of your life. EJ was in the worst shape of his life. You know what I'm saying? Because he had to do everything to just make the weight. You know what I'm saying? Because he really underestimated Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter didn't want to get embarrassed. And he had about 15 trainers, you know what I'm saying, to prepare. Like he was preparing to go to a fucking war, you know what I'm saying, overseas. That's how he trained.
Ooh, he was sparring with Benavidez and fucking Boo Boo.
Right. So what I'm saying is, these guys, when they come on here, they try to put in their little digs and stuff, and this is the hating part. We're talking about Shawn Porter, because he's going to try to come back and clean it up, you know what I'm saying, by saying that he thinks EJ's gotten better since the car crash, right? But why mention all that shit, bro? Why not just keep it? I mean, you can do what you want to do. I mean, I don't care, but I'm just noticing how this saltiness comes out. The competitiveness is still there. You know what I'm saying? He wanted a rematch, and I wish they would have rematched it and see what Errol Spence Jr. looked like with the strength and conditioning. And his, that way he couldn't talk like this. You know what I'm saying? That way they leave it in the ring and the results will be there, right? Kell Brooke, he don't have shit to say, but I'm pretty sure they were all shocked at this. They just let this shit go. They just let this shit roll off their back like water on the duck, right? You know what I'm saying? They just let Shawn have his little hate moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure they understand where it comes from. Go ahead.
Hey, Poole, but back to Kell Brooke. I don't think a lot of people know this, but after the Spence fight, he admitted that he was battling depression.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did drugs.
Spence will put your ass through depression. The same shit happened with Danny Garcia. And that's a Spence that came back from a car crash. I mean, like, damn.
When you fight Errol Spence Jr., it's the championship, fight. It's the pros. It's the ultimate, the ultimate fight. And when you get tested like that and you lose, it takes a piece of your soul. As you can see, you know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter still haven't gotten over that shit. Gonna call this man dumb because, you know what I'm saying, he was getting hit by a pullback counter. But bro, you lost that fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? You lost to the guy you calling dumb in the ring, right? And he's talking about he was surprised by that. But was you surprised when you lost that motherfucker? You know, that WBC belt? Was you surprised when EJ said bring that jacket that he had on, that green jacket over here, because I just took your belt.
WBC belt. I just took your shit, so bring that green jacket over here. All that shit that you got green on, it needs to be over here.
Right. So, you know, he's still a little hurt, but he's still trying to, you know, trying to be a good analyst here by trying to clean the shit up. But he gonna call my man dumb. But you lost to a dumb fighter, bro. You know what I'm saying? You lost to the fighter you calling dumb. So, you know what I'm saying? You sitting on the podcast talking about him. He's not on the podcast talking about you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else got anything to add to that?
Shit, man, they just jealous, man. They jealous and envious. I feel like Shawn was probably battling depression after that fight too. He just didn't make it vocal.
Mm-hmm.
He told his daddy, I wanted to retire after the Spence fight.
Yeah, you know what? They had a big argument, Andre Smith, about that. Tell me some, you know what I'm saying? They had a big argument after that saying, you know, he said, he just said, my next fight gonna be pay-per-view. He said, I bet your next fight won't be pay-per-view. And he was correct.
He was correct.
He was correct. So, you know, it's a lot of, it's beyond, it's about being a celebrity in boxing, and Shawn, that's what he wants most in life, to be a celebrity, you know what I'm saying, in boxing. And he just hates that EJ is bigger than him. You know, he hates that he's continuing to grow and shine in boxing where he's retired. So he's got to throw a little bit of shade on EJ so he don't shine as bright.
I feel like he hate that his dad was right about EJ. About what, like, after the amateurs and the Olympics, Kenny Porter was all like, EJ gonna be special. And Shawn Porter hate that shit.
Mm-hmm. And look at all them off-colored shits in the back. You need to burn them clothes up back there. And so
all them weird ass suits he be wearing with them fat ass bow ties.
He just got rows and rows and shit. He got stacks of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue on in the interview.
I thought the Errol was going to be more intelligent in the ring, and I thought that simple pullback counter move. It's one thing to get hit with it, like, you know, things happen. You know, but for him to acknowledge it and show how frustrated he was in that moment, and then I started to see other moments of frustration as well. When we talked about this fight years ago, I said, well, Terrence the smarter fighter, he's gonna win this fight. But I think that ever since this accident that Errol has sustained, and I think that having to come back from that and having to just grow up and get rid of a lot of things in his life, I think that he's a smarter fighter now than he was when we fought in 2019. And I don't think that there's going to be any surprises for either guy in the ring. There weren't any surprises for me when I fought Terrence. Everything that came to me was everything that I thought was coming. And
So you knew Terrence was going to turn up on you and knock your ass down a couple of times. You know why? You know why you knew that? Because you didn't train like your daddy told you to train, bro. You know what I'm saying? You didn't properly train. You didn't do what Kenny Porter. You was fed up with your daddy ruling over you. You know what I'm saying?
Shawn said, I made it too far in the point of my career to still be training like I'm a fucking prospect. That's basically what he said.
Right.
Going into the fight with Brooke.
And his daddy micromanaged his training. So it's like it just got to a point where he felt like he wanted to do his podcast, and he was trying to put more time into media productions. He was going to every PBC event, and he was hosting it. You know what I'm saying?
He was having distractions leading up to that Bud fight.
No, he was in training. He was doing PBC events. I mean, and Bud even popped out on social media and said a YouTuber would never beat me. Remember Bud Crawford said that?
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Right. That's because he was doing all these fucking events and he wasn't training. Like he trained for Errol Spence Jr. He didn't use all those distractions. He went to the limit. He left no rock unturned when he trained for Errol Spence Jr. He did not do that against Bud Crawford.
Hey, And the week after Bud beat him, Shawn Porter brought him onto his podcast to talk about the fight. That shit is wild, man.
So, Shawn, you know what I'm saying, he tries to be slick, you know what I'm saying, in the way he put that. He just like he said on the podcast, people say I hate on you. He said, yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, because you can't say nothing good about this man without saying, throwing some kind of shade in there. And it's like, bro, just, just give us the analysts. We saw the fight. You know what I'm saying? You can't say nothing about this man boxing IQ. When that man was boxing you, you know what I'm saying, and that lasted a short period of time, you could see EJ could slip everything Shawn was throwing. He could move. You know what I'm saying? You saw him. He got off balance because he was trying to hit him with a shot that was coming off the ropes, but you could see EJ could slip his shit. He couldn't. If EJ wanted to play the boxing game, it would have been a boring ass fight. You know what I'm saying? And just run around the ring and doing like Terrence Crawford trying to be a counterpuncher, the shit would have been boring, bro. That's one of the best. That fight there was one of the best fights that I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Because EJ chose violence. You know what I'm saying? He chose violence. You know what I'm saying? He went in there to fight Shawn Porter, even though he wasn't at his best. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so that tells you the mentality.
He took my fault. But he took Shawn Porter's style and he beat him over the head with it. That's how bad it got. He took that motherfucker style and started beating him over the head with it.
Well, the thing is, EJ, he didn't respect Shawn Porter, and he underestimated how Shawn Porter trained. You could see the way Shawn Porter body language was going into that fight. He was moving slow. He was very confident that he had a lot of shit he had to get off. Now, he wasn't doing that with Terrence Crawford. That was just a money fight. And see, that's the thing. Terrence Crawford is never a part of those kind of fights where people are like really training hard for him, you know what I'm saying, to put that first L on his record. He's not fighting guys like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one thing about it, Kenny Porter said, we're training to give Errol Spence Jr. his first loss. Remember that? Remember they said that in training? We are going to be the first to defeat Errol Spence Jr.
Yup.
And that's the thing. They never, Terrence Crawford never fight dudes like that. It's always he has the advantage. That's why I call him the Black Canelo. He never fighting these champions, you know what I'm saying, at the top. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back into the interview because this shit is long.
And expected the whole 9. And I think that one little stain, for the sake of words, that Errol had back in the day, 2019, when we fought, I believe that stain is gone too. So I don't think either guy's going to be surprised at all.
And Poole, my fault. Why he talking about one moment that he had in the fight?
Well, I mean, he's got to make himself look good.
That's the same shit they did with Mayweather. Mm-hmm. They'll point out little moments that Maidana had in the fight. Like, bro, this shit coming full circle.
Well, of course, when you on top, you know what I'm saying, everybody gonna really criticize you and break you down. So, that's just a part of the game.
When I got in with Terrence Crawford, I didn't expect him to be as. I knew we were going to be sharp, but I think just the way that he could switch in a fight so naturally, against obviously a world-class fighter, and be so relaxed, orthodox and southpaw. And just the angles, what he was chucking his shots, are surprising. Very sharp puncher. He's not the. I don't want to say he's like Errol Spence's more grinding, more thumping kind of power. It is more sharp and snapping. Terrence's, and surprising. That's what I'd take from them two. And he does get frustrated. Errol Spence, he does get frustrated, in the fight what we had, we're catching him with shots, he gets frustrated, he shows it, but like I said, we're talking about two A-star fighters, and it's like I say, it's going to come down to many things in this fight, and they're going to have to bring absolutely every part of their game to get the victory.
All right. Thank you for that, Kell and Shawn. Thank you for the question, Kurt. Our next question is going to come from Chris Murray with the Philadelphia Sunday Sun. Chris, if you could please unmute yourself, you can ask the question.
Yeah, my question to you, and my question is to the fighters, Kell, Brooke, and Shawn Porter. My first statement would be, Crawford has to do what to win, and then my second question would be, what does Errol Spence have to do if he wins? What will he do well if he wins this fight for both of them? So starting with any one of you guys can take this first.
Go ahead, Kell.
Yeah, I just think that me looking in, I'd say that well, it's hard when we're talking about these levels of fighters. Looking as a fan looking in, you'd say that Errol Spence used to use his size, be calculated, go down to the body, calculated pressure, be the bigger guy in the fight, and dominate, from round one. And looking in again, I'd say that, Crawford has to be a sharpshooter, just on the end of the shot, firing back over his shots and, using the ring, sharpshooting like he does, picking the right shot at the right time, making Spence work when he don't want to work, and just being very clever and sharpshooting and getting the rounds and breaking him down, over the fight.
I agree 100% with all of that. I think the calculated pressure from Errol has to be something that he sustains the entire night, that he continues to put on the pressure and the body punching. And I think the two things that Bradman said earlier, number one, if you're Terrence Crawford, you got to get to Errol's body. You got to make him uncomfortable. Do things to him that he's not used to having been done to him. Going to the body is certainly one of them. And then the other thing that Bradman said, in between Errol Spence's punches, Errol has a really tight defense, keeps his hands up, he keeps his hands at home. If he's not punching, his hands are up. And that's something you can't say about a lot of fighters. And so with a guy like that, you have to find openings. Those openings are usually there when that punch is being released. And so, like Bradman said, punch when he's punching, and then right there to what Kell said, be accurate, be that sharpshooter. And again, I mean, we're talking about a great fight because we're not saying nothing that either of these guys can't do. And so I think that's why this is such a great fight. I mean, you're talking about punching in between the gloves. All you guys on the call, you guys can attest that is it's hard to find the timing. It's hard to find the distance. It's hard to be confident to do it. Terrence can do that. And then we're talking about all night pressure. We've seen Errol do that, so it's going to be a great fight.
Yo, Pooh. I don't see why they don't mention the coaches, man. I feel like they're gonna play a big part in this fight. And not one of these motherfuckers mentioned Derek James or Bofat.
What you call that nigga Bofat?
What? Oh shit, my bad, Bomac.
Bofat. You got the right name.
I don't know why they don't mention them. Like, why? Why not mention them? They supposed to be, one's a great coach and the other's an assistant trainer.
Man, Bomac trash, man.
That nigga, I mean, shit.
I don't like that motherfucker. The other, they whole like
talking about the Hispanic.
That dude that fight for what's it?
Oh, they like Nelson or some shit like that. Steven Nelson, I think so. I think that's his name.
Well, let me get this off, y'all. We're gonna have to leave it here because I gotta go get this damn load, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Derek James is the person that keeps Errol Spence Jr. disciplined inside of his fundamental framework, right? He's the person that, minimize Errol Spence Jr. mistakes and, keep him keep him fighting on a championship level. You know what I'm saying? EJ got the ability to do it on his own, but Derrick James is just that extra. He's that guidepost to keep you straight. You know what I'm saying? And fighting on a high level, on the elite level. So that's what's important about Derrick James. And you know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford and Bomac, you know what I'm saying? He understands what Bud's abilities are, and he's like more like a cheerleader than a real coach that's gonna, you know, tactically break you down. I haven't seen nothing Bomac really said besides you behind in the fight, saying a lot of general things. But I got to get up out of here. You know, we'll chop up the second half. I got to go get a load, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about this. You know what I'm saying? We could have been, you know what I'm saying? This was going to be a 4-hour live stream at least.
Now you
but
good,
we're
cool, knock that shit up.
Yeah, man, we're going to have to, you know, come back and cook on this because this is a long-ass interview. And, you know what I'm saying, we'll come back and talk about the Jerron Boots Ennis and Villa fight that's coming up this weekend. You know what I'm saying? We're going to jump on that.
You covering that fight Saturday?
Of course. You know, hopefully I'll be stopped and you know what I'm saying, I'll just tune in and we'll just hit it live and we'll talk shit on the fight and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? Thanks everybody, Cash Crypto, Andre Smith, Jay Wash for coming through, all my people, B-Dog, you know what I'm saying? Everybody for coming through, Zach B, you know what I'm saying? You know, the whole 300, man, my pool counter boxing 300, man. Thank y'all for showing up, and we'll see you during the fight, during that Jerron Boots Ennis fight, and we'll chop it up then, y'all. But I got to get out of here. I got to go get this load. Peace out, y'all.
All right, be safe, man.